Howdy, y'all. I'm Adam, the Renaissance Nerd. Today, I want to talk about lore. Lore matters. Source material matters. Matters to fans. Because we're the ones, we were here first. We're the ones who buy the books, watch the movies, read the comics, play the games. We're the ones that dig deeper. We're the ones that memorize all the glorious material that original creators put into their franchises, put into these vast, deep, widespread worlds filled with characters, locations, events that we remember because we love it. That is a difference between you, me, and those freaking fake fan stands, SJW twerps who have infested everything we love. We just finished with The Rings of Power Season 1. The poster child now of what it looks like to disrespect lore. Wheel of Time's a close second. We're going to have a discussion about that hopefully in the near future. Either way, we respect lore. Fake fans do not. Uncreative assholes do not. And the shills sure as hell want you to know they hate you. They want you to know you need to shut up and know your place, you toxic little nerd. You need to let go everything you love because we're here to make it better.
You're a disease, and I'm the cure.
We're here to modernize it for new cultural sensitivities. Those are the words you never want to hear associated with something you love. As I said, Rings of Power currently is the poster child of how to disrespect lore, how to disrespect fans. Lord of the Rings fans, they didn't have any of it. They pushed back. They made Amazon pay. But the shills are not going to go down without a fight. They want you to know that lore doesn't really matter. So, Sauron revealed broke Lord of the Rings canon. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter that they couldn't use Anatar, the Lord of Gifts. Doesn't matter they couldn't do that. You need to accept it. Fans need to accept breaks in canon. Now, they're talking about Lord of the Rings, but in a sense, they're talking about everything you love and cherish. Let's read this, and then I'll have a few more words to say on the matter. Knowing that it was just the Sauron reveal that broke canon, it was also the reason for the rings' creation and the order they were made. On the series, the 3 elven rings were made first as a way to combat the elves fading. They made shit up to fit with their fake lore because they didn't have the rights to it, so they just made shit up. That's why we call this billion-dollar fan fiction. In Tolkien's material, the 3 rings were made last, besides the 1 ring, as a pinnacle of Anatar and Celebrimbor's creations. So clearly, the Rings of Power has no problem altering its source material as it seeks to tell its own version of the story because they think they're better than the professor. They think they can do a better job creating a story than the man, J.R.R. Tolkien, the man who created the foundation of all fantasy in Western literature. They can do better. They can make their own version. Unfortunately, a lot of Lord of the Rings fans have a real problem with the series changing anything from canon, calling it anything from expensive fan fiction, no, billion-dollar fan fiction, get the barb right, you frickin' tool, to outright garbage. It is garbage. It's trash. While diehard Tolkien fans do have legitimate grounds for protest, there's a point where they need to move past their complaints. The series is an adaptation of Tolkien's Second Age, not a one-for-one rendition. Things are going to be different, and that's okay. While there are notable issues with the Rings of Power, the fact that it's entirely wrong, entirely poorly acted, shot like shit, written by a freaking middle schooler who doesn't understand proper grammar and proper dialogue, well then yeah, there's a lot wrong with it. It's actually pretty good. And anyone who refuses to give it a chance just because it's a bit different from the original Lord of the Rings is doing themselves a disservice. It's time to accept and enjoy the series for what it is and stop trying to trash it based on its adherence or non-adherence to the source material. The Rings of Power is telling its own version of the story and should be allowed to do so. That is why it's bullshit. That is why all this shit is crap. That is why these people are fake fans, because they have no passion. Our passion scares them. It frightens them because it shows how insignificant they are. It shows that they don't really care about stuff. To say it should be allowed to tell its own version, that's an insult to the professor. It's an insult to Tolkien. And let's expand it. It's an insult to everything. This is the same argument they're using for everything that's been destroyed in nearly the past 10 years, over 10 years, since Disney bought Star Wars. You know what? This matters right here. So I don't want to drop them. These matter. These matter. They are the lore. They are what came first. They are what you adhere to. And that is how you win fans. That's how you win support. For over 20 years before Star Wars really took off again, well, maybe a decade. It took off in the early to mid 90s, and then it skyrocketed through to the aughts. But before that, guys like me, first gen fans, we bought merch, we read books, we played games, and then Timothy Zahn was given the chance to write a new story for Star Wars, given permission by George. George had say. George said, okay, here you go. Here are my ideas. Take your ideas. Make something new. You know what? This is respect for the Lord. This is the 20th anniversary edition of Heir to the Empire. You look at the opening page when they redid it, it looks like a Star Wars logo on this. Let me just get to it. Excuse me. Look at this. Looks like a Star Wars logo. And then on the very first page, annotations. When I reread this last year, I read all the annotations and how much effort Zahn put in. I'm going to read this to you right now. Each of the classic Star Wars movies includes a Star Destroyer in its opening scene. All of my Rebellion era books do the same. Timothy Zahn. This is respect for the lore. The lore matters, because without the lore, you don't have a story. You don't have the world that is made famous. That is why when somebody says, let it tell its own version, that shows they don't care. These matters. These matter. Leads to creating stuff like this. Leads to all of that. Respect for the lore. It matters that William Hartnell is the first Doctor. Lore matters because it shows love. It shows the power, the passion that these men put into their ideas, into these worlds. And then it shows the love and the passion of fans that have held these fabulous stories close to their hearts for decades. When you say it doesn't matter, when you say it needs to be modernized, when you say it needs to be shifted to be appreciated in a current day climate, you reveal yourself to be a fake fan. That's why I said they're afraid of us, because we have knowledge and we make them look tiny. We make them look insignificant when we challenge them. They don't want to be challenged. They want to be people like Blake Hawkins, who wrote that article I just showed you. They want to be the ones that stand at the top dictating what is right, what is correct. They want to tell you that Disney Star Wars, they do it all the time on these websites, the canon. They want to make you understand that Disney Star Wars is the canon, where the EU is canon. They went as far as to relabel it Legends. That's a dirty word on this channel. They want to make you understand that there's the Jar Jar Abrams Star Trek timeline, and then there's the original. You have to go with the Jar Jar one. That's what we're working with, because Bad Reboot owns the rights to play with this shit. They want to make you think that just because a new showrunner comes in, chin balls on Doctor Who and decides to blow it all up and make a Black Whammons the first Doctor or some shit like that. They want you to think that because they decide to do it, it's the canon. Disrespecting everything that came before because it doesn't align with their message. All this stuff has to do with messaging, narratives, ideological input to indoctrinate new audiences, not to what they're watching, but to their beliefs. This isn't about entertainment for these people. It's about agenda.
It's a trap!
Gene Roddenberry, George Lucas, the professor, J.R.R. Tolkien. They had the love and the passion to create something wonderful. All these people with their agenda want to do is destroy and indoctrinate. That is why I am here, to defend what I love, to defend what you love. That is why this entire sphere of YouTube exists, because we are passionate fans. We are the lifeblood of everything. We are the ones who will carry the banners into the future. We are the ones who will share what was there first, because we were there to read it, watch it, play it first. Do not let shills, fake fans, stans, SJWs, do not let them tell you you're not a fan. Your opinion doesn't matter. Don't let them tell you that you need to shut up and sit down and accept the crap that's coming out. You speak up, whether it's in a comment in a video, a like, or making your own channel and making your own voice heard. Do not sit back. Do not stand back. Do not let them push you back, and never bend the knee. We are winning this. Articles like this show you they are afraid because they're trying to change reality as it is. The Rings of Power was a failure. It will never be a success because it's fan fiction created by people who have not an ounce of creativity in them and no love or passion for the product. All right, I'm done. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, a like would be very much appreciated. If you are new here, I invite you to subscribe to this channel where I hope to earn your trust and support using facts and logic, because facts and logic do not care about whiny fake fan stan and SJW fifis. Hit the notification button, share my video if you like what I'm preaching, and by all means, leave a comment. I love to hear from real, normal people like you, real fans, actual people who love these franchises. I do not care one lick what the stands or the SJWs have to say, because 201, they are cowards behind keyboards, and I can't wait for this video to trigger each and every one of them. Thank you again for watching. Take it easy. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you want to get in touch with me, you can reach out to me at therentnerd@gmail.com. That email's for channel business only, so I check it on a daily basis. Also, you can find me at the Geeks and Gamers forums under @ROAS, and you can find me at Rumble and Odyssey, The Renaissance Nerd. Thank you again. See you next time.